I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, and how he was acting. Being that, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, we was all cool at one point in time.
Now remember this. No, I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now, imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36, and we fight.
24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Floyd Crawford surpassing him in accolades because of the undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighting that fall great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume than Floyd Crawford.
In a live interview, Terence Crawford confidently addressed Floyd Mayweather and his own growing legacy. He declared that Mayweather's time in boxing has already passed, insisting that this is now his era. Crawford stressed that the focus should shift to him as the present face of the sport. Speaking with conviction, he positioned himself as the fighter responsible for carrying boxing forward and leading the new generation into the future.
And Tyson and some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules. Exhibition, non-exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting a... Forget all that. These things can get figured out. The fine details. The fact that it was announced... Why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them... trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You lob it out there as a way to pull the public, and then make an adjustment.
You don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Floyd Mayweather reminded fans that he had also schooled Canelo Alvarez when he was already the older fighter, proving his superior skill and experience. He argued that Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo should not be considered a monumental accomplishment, since both of their signature wins came against the same opponent. For Mayweather, this only reinforces that his triumph stands as the greater achievement, and Crawford's success does not elevate him above his established legacy.
Hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. And everyone is now saying that he's not the same fighter. He's not looking the same. Now remember this. No, I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now, imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36, and we fight. And now what y'all gonna say? Well, now he got what? I don't know how many fights he got.
Some analysts maintain that Terence Crawford cannot yet be compared to Floyd Mayweather, pointing to the flawless 50-0 record Floyd proudly holds. They argue that while Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez was impressive, it alone is not enough to surpass Mayweather's legacy. To truly elevate himself, many believe Crawford must move up in weight and challenge David Benavidez, a dangerous, physically imposing fighter. Defeating Benavidez would not only highlight Crawford's fearlessness but also prove his ability to conquer one of boxing's toughest challenges today. Without such a defining win, critics insist that Crawford's accomplishments, no matter how great, will fall short of Mayweather's unmatched standard, keeping him outside the conversation of being remembered on the same legendary level.
Look at Floyd record, right? Floyd's legacy is 50-0, 24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because of the undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume than Bud Crawford, but both of their best wins are Canelo Alvarez. Canelo was a younger, greener Canelo when Floyd beat him. Bud beat an older, slower, but more seasoned Canelo. Now, Bud's not going to surpass Floyd because of the record. He's not going to make 50-0. Bud has to separate himself. What he has to do is do something that Floyd didn't do. Take on the challenges that people were scared for you to take. Just that's what separates Leonard and Durant from the rest. If Bud Crawford beats David Benavidez, he will surpass Floyd Mayweather as far as on the all-time list. As of right now, if Bud Crawford retires, I would have him somewhere around the top 5.
Trainer Robert Garcia views the situation differently. He believes Terence Crawford is unlikely to endanger his legacy by stepping in the ring with David Benavidez. In Garcia's opinion, Crawford is a smart fighter who understands how to secure his place in boxing history without exposing himself to unnecessary risk. Benavidez holds a significant size advantage and presents a real threat capable of ending Crawford's unbeaten streak. For Garcia, the danger outweighs the reward, especially since Crawford already owns an outstanding resume. He argues there's no need for Crawford to prove himself outside his natural division, underscoring the broader debate between taking legacy-defining risks and protecting a nearly flawless career.
There's no way. Crawford just got the biggest win in his career and one of the biggest wins in history. He doesn't need to go out there and risk. But it is too big, too strong. We don't want to see a champion do so much and accomplish so much and then end his career with a bad choice, a bad fight that he shouldn't take. I wouldn't do it.
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, shared his perspective by acknowledging that while Terence Crawford clearly outboxed Canelo Alvarez, the victory should not be treated as the ultimate measuring stick. He pointed out that Canelo was no longer the same fighter he once was, lacking the sharpness and power that previously defined his punches. Jeff noted that before this fight, many critics doubted Crawford's resume and questioned his level of competition. Yet even after defeating Canelo, some still minimize the achievement. For Jeff, the win was certainly impressive but must be placed in proper context. Canelo was not at his absolute prime, meaning the victory does not automatically elevate Crawford beyond all criticism.
Canelo knocks him out in the first half of the fight because he couldn't handle the power. And obviously that proved not to be the case, that Crawford could definitely handle the power. Were you surprised that, it didn't look like, maybe once or twice it looked like maybe Crawford felt it, but never had any kind of real trouble?
I don't think that Canelo really hit him. He hit him a couple times clean, but Crawford, Crawford's a big guy too. Crawford took it like it was nothing. He hit Canelo a few times. Canelo took it as well. So basically, at the end of the day, they both took decent shots from each other. But Crawford just didn't get hit as much as Canelo did.
Do you think that was a case of you can't Canelo's a guy that's not out there throwing huge combinations, not more of a punch at a time kind of guy, and that's not going to work against someone as slick and talented as Bud Crawford.
Yeah, I agree. Basically, Canelo was looking for just one big shot and trying to land a big shot on Crawford, but Crawford wasn't having it. And Crawford at times was saying, I guess say to himself, I need to, do a little more, basically. And it seemed like he just did that. He let his hands go.
Legendary fighter Roy Jones Jr. offered a sharp critique of Floyd Mayweather's legacy. He argued that outside of his win over Canelo Alvarez, Mayweather did not consistently face the very best fighters of his era when they were truly in their prime. Jones questioned how Floyd is often labeled the greatest when much of his record came against opponents who were smaller, older, or past their peak. While acknowledging Mayweather's undefeated record as historic, he suggested the legend status is somewhat inflated. For Jones, the timing and quality of Floyd's opposition leave room for debate, especially when comparing him to versatile, risk-taking fighters like Terence Crawford.
Floyd Mayweather top 5?
No, not in my.
Not even top 10. maybe top 10 in my book, not top 5. He's maybe top 10, but not top 5. Top Floyd can fight, don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem. Well, I understand, I know you're a Floyd fan, but here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he going to prison when he get through. Then to take it even further, Cotto was not on his level. Wait. See, stop. Let me finish first. Cotto.
You asked me a question.
Cotto already was done. And Cotto an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. Cotto's not an all-time great in boxing.
I agree with you.
He's an all-time Puerto Rican great. All right, so that's not great. That's not on your level. Pacquiao. You waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. You waited till Marquez knocked him out, and now you fought him. If I wait till somebody beat James Toney before I fight him, do I get credit for being the greatest fighter of all time because I beat James Toney?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So my point is, you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight besides them best 2 names you can pull up besides Canelo?
What I'm saying is that who do you think around that time would have even beaten Floyd that he didn't fight?
So my point is, I'm not going to say who
because I can't name a person.
I'm not going to say who would have beat Floyd. Like I said, I'm just saying Floyd never fought nobody that was of his equal. He didn't fight a James Toney. He didn't go looking for a James Toney.
A separate analyst drew a clear line between popularity and pure skill. He acknowledged that Floyd Mayweather's global fan base is unmatched, built on his flawless record and unparalleled pay-per-view success. Yet, when evaluating boxing talent alone, he argued that Terence Crawford may actually surpass Floyd. Crawford's natural southpaw ability, paired with his rare gift of seamlessly switching stances mid-fight, makes him adaptable to any opponent. This versatility has led many to claim that Crawford's technical skills even exceed Mayweather's. The discussion reflects a larger question in boxing. Should greatness be defined by global fame and numbers, or by raw skill and adaptability inside the ring?
Versus Floyd Mayweather Jr., who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ, and not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far, and I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Former world champion Shane Mosley offered a direct comparison between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, pointing out that Crawford's natural size gives him an advantage Floyd never possessed. As a naturally bigger fighter, Crawford can move across multiple weight divisions while maintaining both power and strength. Mosley acknowledged Mayweather's brilliance in defense and timing, but argued that Crawford's physical attributes allow him to dominate opponents in ways Floyd could not. For Mosley, this makes a head-to-head comparison unfair, as Crawford's frame and natural build provide opportunities that Mayweather's smaller stature simply did not allow.
You think it's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually they moving weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well.
You know, he's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. You know, the hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Jeff Mayweather reminded fans that when Floyd fought Canelo Alvarez, he was already past his prime. Despite being older, slower, and no longer as sharp as in his younger years, Floyd completely schooled Canelo through experience, defense, and superior ring IQ. Jeff emphasized the difference between Floyd's victory and Crawford's, noting that while Crawford beat a more seasoned Canelo, Floyd did it when he himself was far from his peak. For Jeff, this context makes Floyd's accomplishments stand out even more, proving that his greatness remains unmatched, regardless of how many victories Crawford continues to add to his record.
Also, if we remember, Canelo, this time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience. He still took him, into deep waters. So.
What was Canelo? 23?
Yeah, very, very young in the game, obviously.
Yeah, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 37 years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
you're in your prime. You're in your prime when you're 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Okay. So, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Terence Crawford has addressed the constant comparisons to Floyd Mayweather with both respect and conviction. He openly acknowledges Floyd's achievements and admits his legacy is permanent. However, Crawford stresses that Mayweather belonged to his own era, and every era eventually gives way to the next. He explained that greatness is never eternal, as a new generation always emerges to take the spotlight. While showing respect for Floyd's accomplishments, Crawford firmly positions himself as the fighter carrying boxing forward today.
I have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. And Mr. Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
Nope.
No friends in this business for you?
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd? Since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? I think you got your answer there. Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis. Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
Trainer Greg Hackett praised Terence Crawford highly after his victory over Canelo Alvarez, calling it a win that cemented Crawford's legacy as greater than Canelo's. Still, Hackett made clear this does not place Crawford above Floyd Mayweather. He emphasized that while beating Canelo was a career-defining moment, it cannot overshadow what Floyd accomplished over decades at the top. In Hackett's view, Crawford deserves recognition for his dominance, but comparisons to Mayweather must be made carefully, as Floyd's body of work remains broader and far more proven.
Because you gotta remember, Canelo is the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like,
know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf. Damn. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't no more ops out there. It's ops out there, but who gonna make them really want to get up? That's the
shit gotta make sense. Like you said, you be the shark, you be the wolf, but there's the monster.
Yeah, it is, but that's like a real monster.
Bro, that's to me it don't make sense, but that's what. Yo, is that proof? All right, we got the legendary Pape in the building. Legend. But what makes sense? Like, what makes the most sense? I know you said get a line of suits, Brooks Brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Get a line of suits, get your money. Get the easy money. You ain't gotta sweat. Not saying you ain't gotta work, you ain't gotta sweat. He's paid the career where he could sit down at the table and get this money. He could come out with a Terence Crawford series now, just whatever, doing whatever he like to do. People gonna watch. Nobody. The fighting part, people don't understand what it's like to be a fighter. A lot of times the fighters really don't be interested in certain fights. It's because when a guy see himself up here and then he's fighting a guy down here, it don't interest him. So therefore, when he train, he's not gonna really train. He's gonna train, but he's not gonna train. He's not gonna listen. He gonna feel like his coach taking it too serious, and he's like, man, this ain't even that. But your coach like, listen, you get fucked up. I'm telling you, you don't want to listen. Then you go in there and fight that guy. Then you get. I mean, I've seen it happen.
Former champion Sean Porter discussed the magnitude of Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo on his podcast, emphasizing that Crawford didn't just meet the challenge but dismantled Canelo in a way few imagined possible. Porter explained that the performance proved Crawford's skills translate across multiple weight classes and against diverse styles. He showcased adaptability, technical brilliance, and mental toughness at the sport's highest level, solidifying his place among boxing's most complete and dominant fighters today.
Jake and Tyson, and you know, some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, you know, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules. Exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting forget all that. These things can get figured out. The fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, you know, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You know, you lob it out there as a way to pull the public, and then make an adjustment.
You don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Terence Crawford's most historic accomplishment is becoming the first boxer to claim undisputed championships in 3 different weight divisions. This remarkable feat highlights not only his versatility but also his longevity throughout various stages of his career. Very few fighters in history have displayed the ability to dominate so convincingly across multiple divisions. This achievement cements Crawford's name in boxing's history books and guarantees that, regardless of comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, his legacy as one of the sport's all-time greats is already firmly established and beyond dispute.
Beats Canelo Alvarez and becomes the first ever male 3-division undisputed champion in boxing history. Thank God the judges got this one right. But wow, what a technical battle this was. It was a very close fight, but as it went on, Terence was getting more and more comfortable in there. I remember in the 7th round, he even stood right in front of Canelo and fought him on the inside. Then in rounds 9 through 12, Crawford really started to open up on his flurries, gaining Canelo's respect. But the reason Crawford won this fight was because he was surprisingly durable at 168. He was able to do his thing because for the 36 minutes he was in there with Canelo, he was never really worried about what was coming back at him. I mean, Canelo just kept going to Terence's right side of his body, and that stung a couple times, but those were the really only hard shots Canelo landed. Unfortunately, this is terrible for Canelo's legacy because the smaller man beat him up, and Canelo's kind of been cherry-picking his opponents the last couple years. But well-deserved for Terence Crawford. It's gonna look amazing on his legacy. Boxing got it right tonight. On the biggest stage, with the most eyeballs, no controversy, just pure sport. And one of the best ever at the sport got it done tonight, Terence Bud Crawford.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates.